Is it time for a 4-day week? COVID-19 gave us the chance to rethink how we live, work, and play. As businesses shut down and offices closed, millions made the sudden shift to working from home. But as curfews and lockdowns begin to ease, and with people going back to the office, many believe it's time to reconsider what the future of work should be.
COVID has been a transformation, and that raises a whole bunch of questions. Do you need as much expensive office space? And do individual workers need to commute into the office every day?
The need for workers to gather together in offices has shaped almost every aspect of modern life. And the shift towards remote working could have far-reaching consequences.
A century after the invention of the weekend, calls for a 4-day working week are growing. Some believe the answer to more productivity actually requires working less.
Cutting our working hours isn't going to be a simple solution because it's about looking at the employee well-being as a whole. So how are we looking after our employees? Are we also offering lifestyle benefits? Are we harnessing modern technology?
Spain is launching a trial of a 4-day work week and could be the first country in the world to adopt it.
The country is about to trial a reduction in working hours. Employees won't have their wages cut, and the government is contributing €50 million to the project.
Supporters of the 4-day week say it will not only increase productivity, but also improve the mental health of employees and even reap environmental benefits. And a happy employee is a productive employee. That's at least 13% more productive. And the goal is to achieve a perfect work-life balance.
That myth of like more hours equals more productivity is totally false, because people just hate the jobs, hate the managers, hate the bosses, and resent the fact that they don't have time to spend with the people that they love.
Skeptics have argued that a shorter work week will mean less revenue for companies. But does working longer hours really translate into getting more work done?
An average UK employee works for only about 3 hours over the course of an 8-hour workday. The rest of the time is spent doing other things, like eating, socializing, or reading the news.
As you probably already noticed, there's a trend going on here. There's a negative correlation between productivity and the working week. The data suggests that more hours don't necessarily mean more economic output. In fact, it might end up meaning the inverse.
The idea has been steadily gaining momentum worldwide. In 2019, Microsoft tried out the 4-day work week in Japan and found that productivity actually increased by 40%. Across the UK, almost 2/3 of businesses with a 4-day week reported improved productivity as well as the overall quality of life for employees. Over 3/4 of the businesses said staff were happier, were less stressed, and took fewer sick days. And New Zealand's Prime Minister promoted the idea.
I hear lots of people suggesting we should have a 4-day week. Ultimately, that really sits between employers and employees. But as I've said, there's lots of things we've learned about COVID and just that flexibility of people working from home, the productivity that can be driven out of that.
A shorter week could even help economies recover from the coronavirus pandemic. During the 2008 global financial crisis, Germany adopted Kurzarbeit, a scheme where employers reduced working hours for their employees. Instead of laying them off, it was recognized as the gold standard by the IMF. The program brought a stability to the country's labor market and was the only G7 economy to avoid a rise in joblessness in 2009. In the past year, the quick shift to working from home has proved that change to centuries-old working practices can happen, and very quickly. So when the pandemic is finally behind us, will our workday ever be the same again? Is less really more when it comes to working hours?